Good morning, fellow hikers. Me and Michael and Katie have just got done doing a little tiny small hike. We had to cut it short because we are potty training and we did have an accident, or she did have an accident. So we are going back to the camper. So we brought our camper out last night to a local campsite that's not far from our house. We wanted to, what do you call it, our first maiden voyage? Our first time out, we wanted to stay nearby. We just wanted this to be a trial run for us going out in the camper, getting everything set up, and it was a challenge. We had a lot of obstacles, and we have a lot to work on. That's all I have to say. Usually when we go hiking, we just get up, we get our bags ready, and we drive to where we need to go and we hike. So this will be different for us, but my husband says we are learning together. I said in another vlog, it's very important that we set goals together, but while you are trying to achieve those goals, there is a learning process that takes place, and during that process, there will be obstacles and there will be frustrations, and it's just part of it. It's just part of it, but it will draw you closer. Just like last night when we were trying to level the camper, it was taking us longer than it should have, but when we finally got it level, there was some rejoicing. And so that's the part that you work to get towards, is when you can rejoice together for your labor together. But this morning, me and Michael read our 2 verses, and we tied them together. And his was Proverbs 14:29. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. And I know that one spoke to both of us, and he even brought out the fact, hey, I didn't even get mad when things were going right with the camper last night. And we didn't yell at each other. We didn't fight with each other. We did probably yell a little bit too much at Katie. It's very challenging with a 2-year-old trying to do these things. So that's something we definitely need to work on. But then I went and read my verse, which was in 1 Corinthians 13, where it says, and now abideth, 1 Corinthians 13, and now abideth faith, hope, charity, these 3, but the greatest of these is charity. And I asked Michael, I said, how can we tie these together? And what'd you say? You remember?
Oh, you got to have love in order not to anger.
Yeah, so you have to have love in order not to be angry. And we had this last year learned about the fruits of the Spirit at our church. Our pastor had been talking about it. So to have the fruits of the Spirit in your life, that's to have the Word of God in your life. So we have to turn to the Word to have these things in our life. He keeps pointing to show me things he's seen on the lake. We are on a lake. Let me give you a little view. Oh, I don't know how to turn it around. Okay. But anyway, so I wanted to look up in chapter 13, 1 Corinthians 13. That is what people nickname the love chapter, because it talks about the things that charity is. And so I'm thinking about, what's the opposite of me getting wrathful or angry when we deal with these things, when we are learning together. And so it says, charity suffereth long-suffering. It's kind. Are we speaking kind? Are we being kind? It envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up. You know, we can be real prideful when we're doing things when we're working together. Does not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth, beareth all things. Do you bear me, baby?
I bear your burdens.
Do you put up with me?
I tolerate you.
Believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. Charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. And it goes on to talk about all these other gifts that people have, but if they don't have charity, then none of these things really mean anything without love. So anyway, that's what we put together this morning. We are both, I'm sluggish today, sleeping on a new mattress. You know how that goes. So there's a lot of adjustment. There's a lot of things that we're going to get used to, but it doesn't mean we stop. Just because something's uncomfortable the first time you do it, or there's challenges when you're doing it, does not mean you just give up. You keep working on those goals together. You keep learning together. And if you get off track, you get off course, you open the Word of God and you let the Word of God refocus you and refocus your behavior. But he's backing the truck up and he's really excited because, anyway. So one more thing, Michael, before we go. You said we're learning together. Why do you think it's so important that we are learning together?
Why? Because if you stop learning in your marriage, there's no growth.
That's true.
Learning becomes growth.
So there's growth. What do you think we've grown from this experience last night with the camper?
Patience. Perseverance.
Yeah. Patience is a tough one. But anyway, so next time we are coming back out, we're actually going to do a 2-night stay, and we are going to do probably more of a good hike, and we're going to include some things. But I want to put a vlog up about how we prepare for a hike. We know how to prepare for a hike. We just didn't have it all together to prepare for staying in the camper. We now have a list of things we needed to bring, things that, but that's life, the learning process. In the learning process, you're going to learn what you need. You're going to learn what not to do next time. And it's the same way with our relationships with people. I told someone one time, just because you have a conflict with someone doesn't mean you walk away. You take that and you work through it and you learn from it. And then you're going to be closer in the long run for that. So anyway, I will see y'all out on the trail.